Oh boy, we're doing a psychics.
Woo!
Which I, historically don't have a great history of getting them to do accurate predictions on me.
Historically.
No. This is actually my first interaction with psychics. We had two wonderful psychic guests, including celebrity psychic Jessie Bravo and regular psychic Theresa Egic.
Regular?
I guess a medium?
Okay, normies.
If you're a regular, you're a medium.
And then, actually, this is great promo because we should plug it. We have...
Seamless.
That was called a transition.
Nailed it.
We have a filmed version, updated, filmed at, what am I trying to say? Filmed at Manhattan Neighborhood Network with a real psychic, and Aaron goes out into the wild, and I'm there, and...
You can watch that on this very channel.
Yeah.
Check out that live episode of Don't Mind If I Don't Psychics.
Listen to this, and then watch that.
Hell yeah. That's for how many psychics we interview in this episode.
And then one in the filmed one, which you're also going to watch.
I'm cutting all this.
Welcome to Don't Mind If I Don't. I'm your host, Aaron Gold. This is the show where I don't like things, and fans and experts come on and convince me why I am wrong, and then hopefully I grow as a person and gain depth or some stupid thing like that. Today, we are doing psychics. We have two legitimate psychics on with us. Coming up first, we have celebrity psychic medium Jessie Bravo. Jessie, thank you for joining us. Jessie,
thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you
I'm here.
Oh, great. Okay, yeah, Jesse's coming in over Skype, so I'm going to try to not interrupt him via the lag. Cool. One down. Also, we have spiritual counselor, psychic medium, Theresa Egic. Egic. Oh, I'm so sorry.
All right.
I am the worst with names. Also, make sure you eat that mic, so we catch everything here.
Hi.
Hi, Angela.
Hi. Yes, I'm a spiritual counselor, psychic medium. Egic is a Serbian name, for those who wondered.
Ooh, yeah. Fancy.
Yeah. And I came here with a lot of people, so you'll kind of see them floating around.
There is no room to move here. Also joining us, as always, is our co-producer, Grant Goldberg.
I told you not to acknowledge my existence.
I know, but I like you.
All right.
Okay, so... everything that comes through this show gets rated on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being total ambivalence, 10 being my blood-curdling hatred. Psychics. The idea of psychics ranks in about 5 or 6. We'll say 5. I'd say I'm a skeptic. Let me clarify this up top. This episode is not about Angela and Jessie here convincing me that, being a psychic is a real thing. That has been done to death. If you want one of those, go Google it. I mean, there's so many psychic things like that out there. This is about you guys convincing me to like the do I say business of psychics? What's the correct terminology here?
The business, the idea of...
The idea of. Let's go with that. So before we get into my hang-ups, what brought you guys into this world of psychics? What makes you like psychiatry? No, that's probably taken. Psychic. You guys are going to help me with terms a lot.
Psychometry.
Really?
Well, that's one of them, yes.
Oh,
Is
I like
psychometry one of them? And then there's this, I call it, psychic phenomenon.
Psychic phenomenon. Okay, well, what brought you into this mystical world? And what makes you stay there?
Are we starting with me?
Sure,
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Well, I was kind of born into it. All people are psychic, actually. We're all born into it. Yes, talking to the mic. We're all born into having gifts, because most children, like you'll see little babies smiling up at nothing that's there if they don't have a thing, and they start laughing. That's because basically we say they're playing with the spirits, or they're playing with the angels. They're not evil. Some people think it's evil, but no. It's usually angels playing with them, because we all come from the other side. I do believe in past lives. So children are closer to the other side because they just came over here, as you do with older people who are about to pass away with Alzheimer's and stuff. You'll hear them talk about, even if they don't, they'll talk about their dead husband. He came to visit me, because they're closer to the other side than here. And I got into it because when I was about 6, I used to scare people. I went to church with my mother, and I would be afraid of an older lady. I said, oh my God, she's going to die soon. I said it out loud. And then I would hide behind my mother. Then the person would die 2 weeks later.
Oh, wow.
Or something like that. And I thought I was killing them. And so later, luckily, somebody said, I see auras. And I was a child who saw auras, and when you're about to pass away, your aura moves from your body. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it goes away, and sometimes it turns very dark because it's stepping away, because that's your life quotient here, and then your spirit goes on and up around you. Hospitals will tell you they see like white stuff lift above somebody who's passing on. So I was seeing that, and I guess I knew it was moving, and luckily that helped me be a little less scared of it.
I have like 50 questions, but before we get into them, Jesse, what about you? What brought you into this mystical world? And what keeps you there?
Essentially. Oh, okay. Well, what happened to me is that I used to see some very odd, scary things when I was a child. And through the course of my adolescence, I would continue to see things as such. And, you know, what was scary is that other people weren't seeing these things. So for me, it was something very hard to cope with. Last thing I wanted to be was in some type of insane asylum.
Yeah.
So, you know, as I got older and I was more mature and able to finally deal with this came back to me in my very early 30s. It really brought me back with my son. My son started to experience the same things I was experiencing. And for me as a parent, I was so concerned of not, you know, my biggest fear was to have a child, well, like one of those goth kids with bolts through their nose and the mouth and all like blacked up. And I said to myself, oh God, those people have no friends, you know, like they just, you know, they're just revolting. And so I decided to go to a psychic development school to try to be there for my son. And it was in that moment that I was able to reconnect. And for many all those years, what was really a reality that I chose to suppress. And for me, what keeps me involved in this particular field is for the amount of people that I really help get through whatever's going through in their life, or to help them reach what they want to reach. So it's not all bad. It's a lot of good. So you get to see both sides of the coin. If it wasn't, I would have left a long time ago.
Yeah, I was reading a couple of articles that were written on you, and the Rolling Stone interview of how you could identify black magic, how in that cemetery, how you felt it, and then it turned out that there were scorch marks and people had done stuff in a mausoleum, and you had just felt it and noticed it.
Yeah.
That's really
matter of fact,
interesting
one of the craziest parts of the craziest part of that is that I had this feeling, and I had never been to that cemetery, and I'm not a guy who hangs out in cemeteries. I got better things to do. Yeah, but you know, you had to really climb to get to this area, and as soon as me and the reporter got there, a raven shot out from like a tree.
Oh my!
And it was almost like something out of a movie for me.
I will say,
when we got to the mausoleum.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ged.
No, you go ahead. When you got to the mausoleum?
So it got to the mausoleum. I didn't know why we were there, and it wasn't until I saw the scorch marks on the stairs until we looked in and saw, you know, all the stuff they had set up for a ceremony that was still in there. And then there was like headstone removed, and there was like all types of stuff and paraphernalia. It wasn't that moment that I understand what was going on. Before that, I had no clue. I was just getting pulled along.
I will say the least intriguing part of that story is a raven shooting out of a tree. I'm like, no, that's relatively normal. But again, not here to try and poke holes in things. I'm here to see if you guys can turn me into a big fan of this. Yeah.
I would continue how you asked why I stayed in it, because I was like a kid. So when I was growing up, after they realized I had this gift, people would ask me to look at their aura, and I would know the color, and I would know, I sense the color, I think, more than I see it, but I can see it, and I could make mine move out, which is really cool, move out further and get more colors in it. And I learned later on about chakras and how you can do things. Now, when somebody is ill, the color of your aura will change, or I can tell what area of your body with that happens. Also, when I was about 9, this is how I continued, I was still questioning if God was real or anything was real because I didn't get the bicycle I prayed for or something like that. Because we're still a Christian family, and my mother thought I was possessed by the devil, so she had the minister help me, and he said, nah, she just has a gift. So luckily, I had good people in the Congregationalist church going, no, she just has a special gift as long as she's not dealing with something evil or dark. But I was in the church with my mother. She was rehearsing for her choir. She's a singer, beautiful singer. Oh. And it was just the organist, myself, and my mother. And I'm 9. I'm in the front pew with my mother. The organist is there in front of me, and the piano's in her way, so she can't really see down into the church. The church was an A-frame church. And so there's
a steeple?
Yeah, like a steeple,
Gotcha.
But the whole church is A-frame, so the whole building goes up in the middle, and then there's the aisle and 2 sides with the pews, and there's a big brown cross up on the wall, and there's 2 doors in the back. So if somebody comes in, the big wind whooshes up, and if the minister comes in or whatever, so we had those closed because it does make a windy place. Suddenly, I feel I'm talking to God quietly, as I talk to God a lot then, and I go, "Are you really there? I mean, I need a sign." I was doubting Thomas, but doubting Angela. I need a sign. Are you really there? I mean, is this important? Why do I know when people are going to die? And I want to stop knowing that, by the way. And I said, so take away that gift. I don't like it. And let me see only good things, and bring me the things I asked for. Thank you. And then suddenly I feel this whoosh. I figure the minister came in. I turn and look behind me. My mother's still singing, probably in the garden or something beautiful. And I look, and there's an angel 6-7 inches off the ground, pure white. You can kind of translucent. She's holding a candle. Maybe it's a she. I couldn't tell. But all white, flowing gowns. I didn't necessarily see wings, just a lot of white. Mm-hmm. And the candle had a flame on it that was also pure white. And she's floating down the aisle towards the cross on the wall. She looks over at me. I'm in a state of awe, like the children who see the Virgin Mary. I'm like, because I can't move. I'm just like in awe. And she looks at me, and she nods very nicely, very kindly, and smiles, and then goes back to floating up towards the cross. I turn around. I hide in my mother's garments, and then I turn back around, and it's gone, and there's no more wind, and everything is very still. My mother had no idea what happened. I told her later, and she said, I think you were meant to see the angel, and she believes I saw an angel. She was glad it was an angel.
Wow.
And then after that, kids at school, I got involved with all kinds of stuff. I wanted to learn about palmistry and numerology and astrology, so I started reading books. I love to read. Started reading at 2 years old, by the way. Another sign of gifts. I was reading adult 3rd grade books by the time I was 2, and I started.
Oh, I'm so glad you clarified on that.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I started 1st grade, reading at a very high level. So there was also that. I was born with some kind of,
Gifted.
Gifted, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, to give you guys a sense of where I'm coming from, and then I'd love to jump into a couple readings if we could. And eventually, I really want to hear your prediction of how I'm going to die. Because if you're right, we have it recorded here for posterity or posterity, whatever the word is. And, anybody who doubts it, whenever I die, hey, here's proof. But I call myself optimistically, spiritually agnostic. I was born and raised Jewish, but at this point, I'm not big into religion. I'm more of just, I think that there is something out there, or I like to think that there is something out there is a better way of putting it. But, if I die and nothing happens, if my last piece of consciousness is, that would be fine. But I think that there is a God, but not like a guy with a big bushy beard hanging out in clouds. I think it's a lot more spiritual than that. And I think it's also, I don't know if I believe in a hell, but I think that there is, I'd like to think that there is some sort of afterlife that everybody goes to. And then if you want to hop back on the ride and experience another thing of existing, you can. That's my interpretation of it. So just to get, but I'm also fully aware that there's every chance I could be wrong. How could I know? When it comes to being psychic, there's a part of me that feels like it's a trick. There's a part of me that wants to believe that there's something greater out there that I just don't understand. There's there's a part of me that thinks that you guys truly believe and know what you say you know, and that, but there's also a part of me that thinks that like maybe they convinced themselves to do this because whatever reason. So that's just where I'm coming from. I think my biggest issue is the idea of somebody knowing me instantly without getting to know me. That I find a little bit offensive. Well, maybe offensive is harsh, but because I find humans to be complicated. So how about we start with a reading and we see where we go from there and see how accurate it is.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, Angela, whatever reading you feel.
Well, I've been getting some strange things from you already. Not
Okay.
bad strange, good strange.
That's pretty much me, yeah.
I kept getting somebody standing behind you, first of all. I want to say father figure. It could be your father if he's passed on, or it could be a grandfather, but somebody's standing over here on the side of your shoulder.
My father and mother are both alive, but all of my grandparents have died.
Yes. So this is your father's father?
You
You didn't meet him, did you?
Oh, no, I did.
Oh, you did meet
I
him, okay.
didn't know my mother's father that
That's
well,
the one,
but
okay.
my father's father I got to know very well.
He's right there, yeah. Now, I'm getting...
Hey,
but
Charlie.
Yeah, and I got some interesting words. He's on the other side. I got some interesting things with Charlie.
Okay.
Number one, I got gold, and I don't know if that's a favorite color or he gave you
That
something.
is my last name, but also we did say that you have read my emails and my Aaron
little
Gold
bit.
is in my signature.
I could have picked
so
it up, but I'm also getting something, an object that's gold. So maybe he was just saying he's the gold side because that's your last name of your father.
there
So
was a gold object that was passed to me from my grandfather.
That's what he just told me. He's handing you something like a watch or something, but it's gold and it's kind of round. I don't know if it's round, but it's got a marking on it. And I can't see what it is, but it looks like he keeps handing it to you. So it was handed down. And then I also got Elvis Presley, and I don't know why.
That one confuses me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you liked him as a kid or somebody like him liked him, but Elvis Presley wearing the gold, which is funny because I see him wearing that gold outfit that he did at one point. Or if it has something to do with the year you were born. I didn't ask your age, but the year he died might be the year you were born or you were born near him. I don't know why the reference to Elvis at this point. So that's what happens. They give me something, and I'm like, what is that?
You know what? Let's look up when Elvis died.
Yeah, December. Well, his birthday's December. He was Capricorn, I think.
Elvis, date of death.
1977? Something
Let's
like that.
see.
Because I was 14.
Well, 1977. August 16th, 1977. My birthday is April 6th, 1988.
Okay. It could be something else, but that's
Yeah,
what
sure,
I do
sure,
to ask
sure.
questions. So
and again, I'm not trying to challenge you like, haha, I got you. I'm just trying to keep all information cards on the table. That's all I'm trying to do.
So I got that with the gold thing being handed. That's the number one thing I got immediately talking to you.
Okay.
Before we talked, actually, just listening to you, and he just stepped up and said, "Yeah, I want to show him to know that I'm here." That's what they do. They'll tell you that they're there by giving me something I didn't know anything about. I might have known your last name from reading it somewhere, and it was my subconscious, but he kept saying gold, and it was also, I figure since it's the last name and it's your father's side, that was also representative, and he gave you something gold. So gold, I also get a tie to, and this might be a natural tie, but I also get a tie to the concentration camps. So
he fought in World War II, and he was the first. He was the first in our family to be born in America, but his family did escape. I believe it was Poland or an Eastern European country.
yeah.
I feel his shame right now at not knowing that.
He didn't know. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I guess he didn't know, but he didn't. Right now, he doesn't remember that. So it's either gone or he just doesn't. It didn't matter.
Okay.
It didn't matter to him about where he was born. But he fought in World War II. Did he get a Purple Heart? Somebody got.
I believe he did.
Somebody got a Purple Heart.
It
also has gold on it. But I'm getting the gold medal thing.
Well, on my 13th birthday, we did drive up to Erie, Pennsylvania, where he was, and he had said, "It's your 13th birthday?" I was like, "Yeah." And he had my father take off his gold Jewish star necklace that had the word Chai, which means life, in the middle of it, and passed it on to me. It's currently in a safe right now in Virginia because I'm not to be, by my own volition, I am not to be trusted with delicate objects. But
yeah, I did see the carving on it or whatever it was.
Okay,
the
yeah.
engraving. Yeah, so I knew there was words on it, but
Sure, yeah.
Of course, not a word I read, but I do know that word from Fiddler on the Roof. So I do know kind.
Our people's musical.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorites. And then I also got a feeling of a sister or somebody who's very close to you. Do you have a sister?
I'm an only child.
But who's the sister who was raised with you? Somebody was raised around you, a female. That I want to feel she's your age, so she looks like she's in your age range to me.
On my father's side...
It doesn't matter which side. This one, I just feel like there's a female around you growing up a lot.
Not really. I hate to say.
Well, it might come back to me just in the sense of
Sure.
But I'm getting that there's a female presence that's very strong that's your age. So I'm not. It's not the mother.
Okay.
And it could be a cousin from one side or the other. It could be a neighbor that you grew up with. But I feel you were very close with this person for quite a few years. Quite a few. Unless it's a spirit guide, but I'll have to go more into that. Everybody has spirit guides.
Maybe it was a spirit guide. Yeah.
And on the things to make you happy, what you were talking about just as towards the reading, yes, I believe like you do. I don't think there's some man in the sky wearing robes. I mean, that's crazy. And that also, I was always told to tell people this. We are from the other side. Everybody does go to the same place, but if they're a low spirit, sometimes they're wrapped up like a cocoon, and they are not able to choose whether to come back here or not. But us who have a generally good soul can say, yes. And those of us who come here, this is kind of like... this was the idea of hell of most religions. They don't understand what they were saying, but
this existence
because your
is hell.
soul is free
Okay.
up on the other side, and then it comes into a human body where you feel pain, emotion, and we are the bravest souls. So we should be very proud that we're here because we are very brave to choose this. Some souls don't choose this because it's hard, and we come to experience to bring back knowledge to the higher realm, whatever you want to call it, the universe, the other side.
Interesting.
And that's what I think it is. It's an energy. It's not God. I call it source or universe because it's just an energy. It's not little man in the sky, except for us who are up there. And that's what I have with the good news on that. And this is hell, so there's no underground or there's no boiling pot.
Yeah, nobody's going to hell.
No. Well, they are here if they're here.
Right, except this.
Yeah.
Jesse, you seem like you've got something to say.
Just waiting for my turn so patiently.
It's right here, man. Take it.
All right. So, Aaron, one of the feelings that I get from you very strongly just immediately is that I immediately get aware of a clock. Now, when I start to see a clock, what that tells me is that, much like other people, is that I believe that you're a type of person that believes that their time's running out. So, like, you're constantly trying to do everything really, really fast because somehow you believe that, you know what, you just don't have enough time. And typically when things like that happen, we get into a lot of trouble because we're just moving so fast that you don't really get to. So for me, I don't believe also that you're not really a person that really calculates as opposed to a person who plays chess, who will sit there and figure out what the 32 moves is to win. I think you sort of just go with the flow and feel like, you take it as it comes. You're like, all right, I'll deal with it as it comes. Almost in that mystic. I feel, I feel your spirit in the sense that you're those people that just wants to like go around that bend and not really know what's behind it, sort of a little bit away from you, so that you could be so surprised and excited when you get there because you just want that excitement of not knowing it in a sense. Wave after wave after wave. So, I would feel that, for a person such as yourself. Okay, thank you. And, the second thing I'm going to bring in here, I don't know how deep I should get.
Go as deep as you want. Like, honestly, let's make me feel uncomfortable. Let's go there.
Okay. So one of the things I got, and I never try to talk about things, especially that air private, but one of the first I get with you is that, I know that you spoke to Theresa and you told her that you didn't have any brothers. You're only like, but one of the things I do feel around you, and then I don't know whether this is something that's current or what it is, I get a younger man around you. A younger guy, but the hair that I get with him is like a lightish brownish hair. And
Angela's
I get that
pointing to Grant right now,
with you.
who we both have light brown hair.
I think I'm older than you.
Oh,
No,
you do?
you're not.
Yeah, he has longish brown
How old are
hair.
you?
I'm 28.
Yeah, you're a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
But
I got really defensive. No, you're not, Grant. Yeah. Sorry, Jesse. Keep going.
It's okay. All right. So, I didn't know what any of your hair is or whatever. I just got that feeling. And here's what I will say: the bond that I feel that comes through is a brotherly bond, and that's why I was sort of caught a little bit off guard when you said that you were an only child, because this person did feel brotherly. And so I don't know what your connection between you and Grant is and how long you've known each other, but I feel a very brotherly connection, if indeed that's the guy with the brown hair.
If it is
Grant,
Grant,
how I feel about it.
If it is Grant, there might be some, like, he and I have been working together for years. We have a show together that we've been running. We do a bunch of projects together. And Grant, weigh in.
I mean, that I can't speak from your point of view. I don't think of you quite as a brother.
Ouch. Okay.
Oh, that's painful.
No, it's fine.
But that doesn't mean that's not a bad thing, right?
No.
'Cause, like,
No, not at all.
I don't like my sister. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, it's funny. I picked up a sister. You have a sister then. And
I mean,
you're so close to me right now. So, and also you have long hair. So maybe I thought.
You put two people in a room, one of them's going to have a sister, right? Like, I
Not
don't-
always.
Not always. of
I'm an
course,
only child, too.
statistically. But anyway, yeah. Let's focus on Aaron.
Yeah.
I feel uncomfortable.
Sure. We'll keep it on me.
So
Yeah.
I'll just finish off here really quick. So, as I sort of get a little bit deeper in, you have a very interesting humor that's almost like mine. I associate it with it. And the humor is based on pain. So, I just feel like, some of the funniest guys who find humor in it are the people that have been hurt the most, that have figured out sort of how to turn that pain, into just turn it from something that's negative into something that's not so negative.
That
And for you, I feel like okay. And for you, I feel like you've had a very painful, I guess, life in some way, but you've sort of turned that around into some very cryptic view of life that's, for me, it's quite hilarious. What other people may not consider so funny. I think that you and I both see it as funny because we just see the irony of it. And we sort of, and I'll keep this on you so that, I'm not talking about me. I feel like that you see through a lot of the minutia of the pleasantries of life and find it funny that people act that way. To the point is, I feel like deep down inside, and I'm not saying that, you suffer from depression or whatever. I just feel like, the flip side of this is that when life gets the best of you, you are deep on the covers, trying hard to get out of bed type of deal, when life turns on you. But most of the time, you're probably laughing most of the time, 90% of the time. But when life does get the best of you, you're deep down in that hole, and I could just see you in there. So that's what I have for you initially.
Yeah, that track so far. Grant and I do run a show about turning comedy and making comedy from depression. Grant seems like he's about to say something.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that also, describes me really well, maybe more so than Aaron, especially the first or the part about the kind of like cynicism and all that stuff. I don't think Aaron's cynical at all. I think Aaron's one of the most like positively
Fuck you. No.
Sees the best in people more than he sees like the facade and gets frustrated with that. But that's a perfect description of me. For whatever that's worth.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
Grant, quit getting in on my readings, bro. Keep your order.
I need
It's
to.
really funny.
Should I wear
There's-
like a lead vest or something?
It would be nice.
Jesse knows me a little, but I don't think Jesse's read for me only in the group sometimes. But that sounds like me too. I'm always making jokes, and I'm 90% of the time. But I do actually suffer from depression, as a lot of people do.
As a lot of people do. Well, okay. Let's talk auras. What's my aura like?
Your aura is great. It's really open today. You are a little bit tired. You've been awake too long or something because it's right around your head. So I don't know if you have a headache or you're just like a little overworked. It could be eye strain. But you seem a little bit like discolored right around there. The rest of you, you're kind of a bright, nice, healthy yellow, which is your solar plexus, which is basically your emotional center. So you're good emotionally. And so the brown is more just like there's something going up in your head, so that could just be tired, overtired. It's not dark, so you're not like, don't have a tumor or anything.
I didn't get a ton of sleep, but yeah.
You don't have a tumor in your head,
Good.
thank God. Yeah, and I haven't seen that many of them. But if I did, I don't know. But you just look like you need some more sleep and a little less stress. Maybe you can meditate a little or just, veg out. It doesn't matter if you meditate. You can just veg out and listen to music or whatever you want to do. A little more. That would probably help clear that. So your aura in general is right now pretty yellow, and it's pretty... I can teach you how to see your aura, by the way.
Oh, God, yeah.
You want to see it?
Let's fucking do that.
We're in a good room for that. I teach these things, too. So,
oh, my God, I'm so excited.
Hold your hand up to that blank wall.
Does it matter which hand?
No.
The wall I'm facing is not
Actually,
entirely blank.
do the blue one. Do the blue one.
All right.
Yeah, because that's better. It's better than a white one. And, look between your thumb and your finger with your hand open like that. And then you see that blurriness in between? Like, look at the wall or the blue thing through your thumb and finger. That's your aura. You're looking right at it. That's your life thing. That's why you're alive. That's why you see blurriness there. That's just actually your soul, your energy. And you're looking right at it.
Well, I'm seeing blue because there's a blue panel there.
It's okay to see blue, but isn't it blurry right about here? It's like if you look at the blue panel without looking directly at it, don't focus on the blue. Kind of look through your hand right close to your skin. And then the blurriness that the blue is under, it's kind of blurry. Whether you have good eyes or not and you're wearing your glasses, that's your aura. You're seeing, and sometimes you'll see it like flicker a little. Sometimes it'll move. And
I think if I see anything, it might be a little bit of white, but
it'll look white to you because you don't know the colors. Jesse knows.
Right,
it's
fair
your
enough.
white. Yeah, you're looking at your aura. That means you're alive.
Oh, thank God.
Yes.
Yeah, man, if I turned out to be dead, if that was the twist of this episode... Woof.
Yeah.
But that's
That'd be
good
amazing
podcasting.
podcasting.
Yeah,
That
good
would
podcasting.
be amazing.
Yeah.
You're very good in death.
I wanted to be dead.
You'll get there. So, one thing I can't let go of right now, because you had told me that you can predict people's deaths. I would be a bad interviewer right now if I didn't ask when am I going to die.
Well, okay.
And how, if you can tap into how also.
Sometimes, yes. A lot of the time, actually.
Sure.
I try not to see tragic events unless I'm supposed to see them. Like, I didn't see 9/11, although I had dreams for years of the Twin Towers swinging on fire and me inside holding on, trying to not fly out the windows, but it was on fire, too.
Right.
And then they stopped after 9/11. And then I have that story, but I won't get there now. So what it is that all of us have several exit points. When we're coming here, us who are of generally good soul and we have certain themes and certain things we want to do when we come here. That's why we're brave souls. So let's say in my last lifetime, I was very, very rich and I used the money like bad people. I didn't help the poor. I didn't care. I used all the money for myself. And if I saw somebody starving, I would pass by them and keep the money for my family in case we needed it. So this lifetime, I might have said, and the only person who judges you on the other side is you and your spirit guide. And so let's say I thought I was pretty selfish and very much into money meant more than me than people. So this lifetime I come back really poor. And now karma can be fixed. So once you're aware of the issue, you've learned the lesson that now I'm a very giving person, by the way, this lifetime. Very giving. I will give away my last dollar even if I'm a little hungry because I can't see somebody else going through that.
Right.
So I just can't take it. And if I have anything, I'll share it. I was also raised that way, but it's just I have to do it. I can't imagine not helping. We feed the cats outside our house. Why? Because we have to. You can't let anybody or anything suffer that's living. So I came back with that theme, and I do understand it, so it's okay for my prosperity to come now. But we die in each lifetime. So this lifetime, we pick certain points that if we've learned everything we wanted to learn or enough of it, we can go back to the other side because most souls prefer the other side. Mm-hmm. Again, it's very hard to be here. There's pain, there's suffering, there's things coming.
There's Donald Trump.
There's Donald Trump, and we did choose to be in this lifetime with him as president somewhere along the way if we knew it was going to come because everybody has free will. So part of the free will is I found that most people as far as I can see, have about 5 exit points. And when you hit one of them, you may or may not know. Like, let's say you said, I was going to die at 5 years old. And you had a near miss, but nothing happened other than, you were supposed to run into a tree and knock your head off, basically. And you hit that tree in real life, or you even didn't. You missed the tree by half an inch because somewhere your subconscious, which knew that was an exit point, said, I haven't learned enough yet. I can go to the next exit point this time because I need to do more. I've learned about humility and manners because I didn't have them in the last lifetime, but that's not enough. I do want to hit the other theme. That's your subconscious because it already knows your whole theme here.
Now, are these generally shown as near misses, or is it often
Sometimes
more as like you get an injury, but instead of killing you, you just get a scar?
It depends on what you need to learn because basically the joke, it's not a joke, but the cosmic joke is you set this up. So your spirit guide is supposed to help you keep focused on that. If you go off track, because I also see several tracks on a lifetime, because they have the 5 points. Let's say you needed to learn something and you didn't listen because you kept getting signs that says if you keep sticking your finger in that electric socket, one day it's going to shock you and kill you. But you keep doing it because you didn't get hurt the last few times because it was a dead socket or whatever. Well, if you don't listen the first time when your mother yells and says, don't stick your finger in that socket or any socket, then you're going, yeah, but it didn't hurt me, so I can do it again. So you do it the next time, and this time you get a little spark. And it hurts, but you're saying, not enough. So that's kind of like we say God first, he'll whisper in your ear. The second time, he'll whisper a lot, he'll speak louder. And the fourth time, he'll kick you in the ass. So then you stick your finger in the socket a little bit later just to see what happens. And this time you get electrocuted. You do live through it.
God is a patient babysitter.
Yes. And so you rush to the hospital. You do get a little bit of like a scar or something from burnt your finger, and you kept your finger, but you're very lucky. And sometimes some people don't get the hint, and they take the exit point. But that's because the soul wasn't learning the lesson. Luckily, most of us learn it until you have to take the last one. I found that everybody takes the last one.
Okay.
Your last one could be when you're 83 or 103. So with you, at this point, I don't see you beyond 83 years old.
Okay.
You've already had 2 exit points pass. And so you have 3 more left. So you can leave before then, but they can also be right in front of each other. It could be 81, 82, 83. So I can kind of tell you the area that they're in, and that's how I do health readings. So I would say about 46, you have to start watching, probably just keep up on your heart health. I don't know if it's in your family, but just keep up on that because there's some danger there. I don't know if it's death, but there is a point there where you might keep up on your heart and don't do things that would hurt it.
Okay.
So it's maybe cholesterol, maybe high blood pressure, but just keep up on those things, and especially around the end of your 40s. And your last exit point, which you'll probably get to, because it looks like, I don't see a lot of reasons for you to leave before then, but again, that's your subconscious choice. 83 looks like around that area. You can always have free will and take another path and maybe go to 86, 87. I don't see you in your 90s.
Okay.
That's just, at this point, I don't see you past your 80s. It's a generally long life, but I just don't see it past there. If you have free will to change things, but that would be what you decide.
All right, so you guys heard it here first. Angela Theresa Egic thinks that I will probably 86 is the latest I can go.
Probably.
But around the 80s. All right, cool. God, I hope when I'm in my 80s I remember this podcast.
Yes. I say I got to change it.
We got to do an
I'm
update.
86. I want to keep going.
Jesse, yeah.
So, if you want to know how it happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, if somebody had come up to me before this interview saying like, "Hey, do you want to know how you die?" I'd be like, "No, dude, and get away from me. You're weird."
No,
but
absolutely not.
Now I'm like, I'm into it. I'm having fun. Let's hear it.
So when you asked that question earlier, what I was shown very quickly was I had felt in the right side of your neck, I had felt like whether it was some type of aneurysm or something or a constriction.
Angela, what are you saying?
When I was telling, same thing, Jesse. That's what I said. I saw it around his heart area. And I kept saying it's his heart at 46, but I saw something around his neck too.
My neck, the right side of my neck. Go on.
So I felt the right side of the neck. So I feel like, sometimes it's either an aneurysm or a stroke where something in there gets constricted where the blood flow is not going, and that's how I feel that you pass. So it will either be or one of the versions of a stroke or a heart attack, but it will emanate from one of the arteries within your neck.
So that sounds like a quick death. That doesn't sound too bad.
It's pretty quick.
Oh yeah. As soon as that happens, you just black right out.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
What you don't know is 85-year-old me is standing behind you with a piano wire.
Going ready. Okay, let's go. Yeah, it was funny, Jesse. I did see something
You'll both
around
be
the neck.
84 and 85, so it'll be hilarious.
So far, the easiest thing for me to believe on this whole thing is that Grant is the person that kills me.
With that knife.
To believe that, you have to believe that I'm going to live past 40. So
That's true. That's true. I'll race you. I'll say this right now. The interview's like we're into it right now, but I don't know if I'm any closer to believing in this mysticism. But I will say I'm having a good time. I'm really enjoying myself at the moment. Like, I like the idea of this. Yeah, let's do another reading. Like, this is cool.
Well, Jesse can tell you, especially as a medium, we are never alone. So if you ever feel lonely, please, you're surrounded by people. This room is full because of all of us in here. And
Do you know how many people are in this? Or spirits, I should say,
I
or
also
whatever.
work with spirits, but I also work with angels, so I believe in those. Even though I don't believe in a god per se, I just believe in different things that help you. Your spirit guide is definitely here, and I think that is the female. I also think I picked up something about his sister, about his Grant's sister, but I don't think it was relative to this. The female you grew up with, I think also, you want to hear something a little embarrassing?
God, yes.
I think that when you started having your about 14.
You can say masturbating.
Yeah. When you're about,
we got the explicit tag.
Yeah.
You guys can go for broke. Swing for the fences.
So when you
14,
started
late bloomer.
late bloomer. When you're
that was an average bloomer.
I'm giving about 13, 14, you started having the wet dreams and all this stuff.
No, I just straight up masturbated.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
But they're telling me that this woman was kind of a fantasy to you. You saw her as something that you liked about her, and at the time. And there's some things about her, but it was your spirit guide, and you've known her all your life.
My spirit guide is the first woman I masturbated to.
Yes, pretty much. Yes, she's kind of, because she's so beautiful. By
Well,
the way.
I do remember the very first woman that was, and that was...
Who was it? What she looked like? It's more like she looked like her.
She's not my type now.
No.
But if any of you grew up watching WCW... the MIA, the Misfits in Action, Major Guns. What was her name? Tylene Buck?
Does she have dark hair?
No, she's blonde.
Okay, I didn't see that.
I think her name was Tylene Buck. Let me hold on.
I would say your spirit guide
I'm Googling
looks like
this
her.
right now.
Your spirit guide looks like her because that's how you saw her.
I don't know if when I die I want to find out that my spirit guide was the first person I masturbated to.
Well,
Tylene Buck, yep.
Yeah.
Eileen Buck, born March 7th, 1972, is an American pornographic actress.
Oh. Well, that's perfect for it.
And yeah, she
Wait, hold
was
on.
Major Guns, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you're on her Wikipedia page too. American pornographic actress, model, cam girl, former professional wrestler, and valet. Valet is in there.
It's a good...
So you like valets?
I guess.
You did.
I mean,
she was kind of your first in that sense, but she was more like, she looks like the woman was on a real woman, but she looked like her, or she took over the form of her to help you with that growth process.
wow.
Growth in so many ways.
That's a pretty cool spirit guide that's going to help you masturbate. Like
She
that's
does. Well, she was like a sex goddess in a past life, the actual spirit guide. I'm getting that
Is
she
she
was
dead? Where's Tylene Buck now?
Oh, I don't know about Tylene, but the spirit
No,
guide.
no,
is-
but like,
No,
yeah. Now I'm just indulging a curiosity.
She's alive. She's 45.
She's 45.
Oh, she's
in
old.
Sacramento. Well,
Just joking. I'm 53. Come on.
I'm old for mature women.
Oh, if there's casting directors out there, I'm actually only 43.
But 15 years ago, she was 30, so...
Tylene,
Age
call
appropriate.
in. Reach out to us. How are you doing? Okay. Interesting. Wow.
Because I kept seeing it, by the way. They show me everything. So keep in mind, when I read somebody, that's why you might feel it's a little intrusive, because they show me every little secret, and sometimes I don't want to see it.
Sure. Hey, you know what? I'm an open book right now. Like, this is...
When are you not an open book?
That's a fair point. I really don't understand being not an open book. I might be on the spectrum.
The book spectrum?
Yeah, some people are novellas, some people are short fiction. Right, that's the same. All right. Well, my vocabulary sucks. Jesse, you got something?
Yes, sir. I when you were talking before about your hang-ups.
My hang-ups?
It's kind of funny. I was just thinking, your hang-ups about the psychic arena.
Okay.
And, when you were talking like that, it's like I almost like had a conversation, whether it's with myself or the essence of you, and we sort of came up with like some really like things are these people really sick? Like they're crazy? Is it self-induced crazy, or is it really like this phenomena? And why are there so many fakes out there? And just had this sort of theological conversation with you. Just about the whole genre. And what occurred to me while I was talking to you, and you just saw this movie happen, is that, I felt for you that when you sleep, in a sense, you have very vivid dreams, to the point where I feel like your imagination almost is as if you were watching a movie before they happened. And when I got that sense, it almost made me feel like where people like us psychics are able to see these things unfold before they happen, that a lot of other people use the same exact gifts, except they use it in different fields. And I felt that you, in your sense, you use it for yours. And I feel like you're able to script things out in a sense where like you would make like not a play. I think play would be too long for you, maybe. I don't know. Involving too many people, I guess it's too complicated. But I just feel like for me that you would see it play out visually than anything else, as if you were watching a movie before it would happen. So for me, I feel like for you that when you're inspired, it's when you can actually see something unfold in your mind as a visual display, as opposed to just a thought.
I'd say that's fair. That's fair. I do. Yeah, I mean, I think so far the most on the nose thing that's been said was Jesse, what you said about time. And how like I'm rushing. Like I've almost always got several pots on the burners, involved in a bunch of different projects. My big belief in life is boiled down to a question of, if I live to be 83 or 40 or even just 29, will I regret doing or not doing this thing? And every major decision of my life is boiled down to that question. And so I use that to steer my actions. And so I try to fill up my time with as much as I can do, because I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. And if I did, I'd die with no regrets, because I know, or minimal regrets, because I know I've done as much as I can do, and I at least had fun. Yeah. And that's all that any of us can ask for.
Yeah.
I've got a question about this other side. Yeah. Go ahead, Jesse.
Sure. And here's what I would have to say is that one of the drawbacks from it has been that, for me, when I see things out there, when you have your hands in too many pots, nothing gets done. In a sense that, I don't think that you have a starting problem. I think you have a finishing problem. And that would be the only thing I would say to you.
I'm going to stop you right there, because this is where it's actually getting weird for me. Because these are like the last 5 statements that you said about Aaron have been things that I've been talking about with people very recently and for a long time. Like everything you say about everything you say about Aaron seems to apply like really strongly to me, which I think is just fascinating, right? Because the skeptic view of it is just like these are very general statements that apply to everybody. But a lot of these things I don't feel like apply to Aaron at all. I'm curious what Aaron thinks about them, because they are kind of general enough to be like, yeah, I could say I do maybe too many things, but I'd say Aaron is a doer. Aaron is like type A, gets things done. I'm the one who like has to see things like a movie, and like has these visualized ideas and then has a really hard time getting them done, because I have this huge list of things that I want to do that I've seen completed in my head and haven't been able to complete in real life. So it's interesting and kind of bizarre. I'll
Well, let's shift focus then. If you guys are picking up more stuff on Grant, would you mind being the source of this just for a moment, and we could get a read on Grant and see if you guys have been picking up on stuff from him? Grant, would you be cool with that?
Yeah, of course.
Great. Let's guys, read Grant.
Grant, obviously you have a sister because you told me earlier.
Yeah.
Is she near your age though? Is it like almost like a?
Well, define near. So
define near would be like you might be 11 months apart. You might even just be 13 months. It's like she was almost like a baby than a baby.
No.
Okay, because I'm getting something with that. I don't know somebody near your age. It's jokingly sometimes they call it twins. It could be a best friend, but he is. He's like he did have the same age range. Yeah. You said you're a few months apart.
Probably.
You're a few months apart. That might be what I'm getting in the twin.
Yeah,
thing.
there's a lot of people that are near my age that you
hang out with, but I'm getting somebody who's kind of get a female figure too. So I don't know if that's where that's coming from, but there's a female figure. Are you dating somebody right now? You have a girlfriend or a wife?
Well, what do you think? Just curious.
I feel like there's a significant person either that I'm not sure you're together completely, but I feel like
no, I haven't been in a relationship for about 2 years.
But I am in a relationship, and she is actually in the room right next door. So
there you go. That's
this is interesting.
I keep jumping back.
Yeah, your aim is crossed.
My aim keeps getting crossed. Yeah, that happens in a room because also I think some of the stuff you were saying, Jesse, also relates to me. I wrote a play, I get it done, and I never get anything done, and I do too much, and I have depression and all that stuff. Yeah.
Let's keep focusing on Grant and see if let's see what happens.
But Jesse can go ahead. While
Jesse, you got anything?
Sure. So Grant, since I've been picking up on you anyway, so it's not even like I'm going away from you. So Grant, one of the things I feel about you is that I continue to get a picture of what I see as like Pegasus, and I'm just telling you what I see in my mind visually, but that's not what it's about.
My Little
I'll tell
Pony.
you what it means to me.
Anyway,
you what?
I said I love My Little Pony.
Funny.
So here's what Pegasus means to me. For me, when I'm being shown an image of Pegasus, what that tells me is a person that is more defiant against life, and in essence that almost feel like when I talk about now, I'll talk about in the terms of a relationship. I would say you're not going to cage me, right? You're not going to keep me from being me. And being you is a person that wants to be wild and free. So you don't want to be constrained and you don't want to be controlled. And I think that's the primary issue, is that you definitely don't want to be controlled.
That's interesting.
And so you could just explain it because that's what I had for you immediately as soon as you got on the line. If you could just let me know how you feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that as a general statement probably applies. I think this doesn't need to turn into a therapy session, but it's a very different type of like I'm going to do what. It's not a kind of like I'm going to do what I want, whatever. It's more of a I don't even know how to explain it.
Don't change. It's a don't change me.
Don't change me, bro.
Don't change me, bro. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like, kind of one of the things that I'm trying to do in my life is change as much as possible, and I don't know. I would think that's something that like I couldn't answer, but like maybe if I had an former girlfriend in here or something, she could be like, yes, that's exactly what it is.
Well, Grant, glad you said that. Behind curtain number one.
Hi, Lizzie.
Caller number 5, please take her off mute.
Yeah, I don't have a read. I mean, I don't have a perspective on that as much as anything beyond what like anyone would say. Like most people don't want to be changed, right? Or they want to be themselves. Like there's a kind of a momentum there of like don't slow my roll or whatever. So I don't know. I feel like that's too general for me to like say like I totally agree with that or I totally disagree with that.
Jesse, I have to tell you, I just lost a friend over that. I told somebody to quit trying to control me. I had a friend trying to control me, and I am probably known as the person who, he just said he was too emotional. Scorpios. Not to put down any Scorpios, but oh my God. So I had a friend and I said, you have to stop telling me about my auditions. He's telling me to go hit my Broadway auditions, and he's like insisting I can play roles that I'm too old to play.
This is great show Matilda that you would
perfect for the lead. It's a man. He was sending me out for waitress for the lead. She's like 30. And
It's a great show, too,
And
by
he,
the way.
yeah, it is a great show, I'm sure, but I'm not 30. And he go, I know you can play it. And then he got mad because I said, you're a little too involved with my life. Sorry. And then he goes, oh, so you're putting me down. So anyway, that's about the control. I don't want people controlling me, and I get a problem with my roommate from that. But I wanted to say, I did pick up something, your spirit guide. Let me get back
Grant's
into the-
spirit guide.
I'm
Yeah,
really
Grant's
interested.
spirit
Yeah.
guide.
Who did Grant masturbate to first?
He didn't masturbate to this one. No, this one's a completely different thing.
Well, we'll see. But
We'll
keep
see.
going.
He might have masturbated to somebody on TV, but it's a different story. Your spirit guide is actually, I'm getting a Native American Indian.
Oh,
and I don't
interesting.
know if you tie to Indians, but he's really like big guy, and he's a warrior, and he's warrior.
Interesting. Is there anything else you can tell me? Like, is there? Yeah, I want to know more about this
Yes.
spirit guide. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's been with you from day one, and even I'm getting when you were a little child, he's been there since before you were actually born, and I'm getting this really strong tie to even desert life. You were talking about the reptiles here, but I don't know if Grant's the same, but it seems to me he'd be really tied to stuff to do with, I'm getting more with the desert life, and also sometimes the woods, because American Indians are in both. But I'm seeing a lot of trees and the woods and the forest, so I don't know if you're an outdoors guy or always wanted to be, because you live in New York. So,
I was a very bad Boy Scout.
well, your warrior didn't help you there.
However, yeah, I did go face first into a cactus once. So
That's it. Well, but you went face first. That's painful, by the way. What kind? A saguaro or a sagira?
It's the
the bottom, the little ones. Barrel.
green paddle ones. The
Oh, the saguaro. It might be. No, it might not be a saguaro, but it could be the barrel cactus too.
prickly pear.
Yeah. Oh, the prickly pears. They're good, by the way.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Yeah,
And-
prickly pear sauce. So good.
But I'm getting you tied to that life. You didn't do it well this time. Your Indian did it very well, but he's the spirit guide, not you.
He's doing a bad job. No,
Well, he let you fall. Lesson learned: don't go standing too near to the the prickly cactus.
Grant, I wouldn't complain if I were you. Your spirit guide is a Native American warrior, and mine's a hot
buddy.
camp girl valet. So,
No,
not
but
that I'm complaining. I'm actually feeling pretty good about that. But
he's actually trying to keep you alive.
Well, he's doing an okay job with that. so
Yes,
far.
because you didn't die. You could fall into the cactus and puncture. Oh, I don't think it'll kill you, but it'll hurt. Also, I'm getting that he has kept you from some accidents that could have been very bad for you.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that one.
Be careful when you drive. If you drive,
Don't drive anymore.
right? There might be a reason for that. You live here too.
Okay.
Well, you live here.
yeah,
and
we are in New York.
Yeah,
so
we are
that's-
in New York, so I get that. But he has protected you from that because he has been a warrior for you. And so he kind of got you away from the war and held you back because there is a time to fight and there's a time not to. And that's what he's really done for you.
I like this guy.
Yeah,
He's good.
You got a pretty cool.
Yeah, because there are times you've wanted to move forward into something that would hurt you very badly, and he just stops you. He's going to stand in front of you almost like a shield. So I'm thinking almost like an Archangel Michael with the sword of light, keeping you from going there to protect you so you stay alive because you have a lot to do this lifetime. And he's saying that for you or your family, but for yourself, that will remain here for many years after you.
Interesting.
So that could be your projects, but they will remain here for many years after you. And I'm hearing you will change the state of the art, I hear. So there's something you're going to make or something you're going to invent.
I like this. I like this reading.
Yeah. And it's going to be very important. And I do get, since you do the tech, but that's what's showing me right now, but there is something important, like the person who invented the Steadicam, that'll be here forever. But
That's not the guy that everybody's going to have a picture of on their wall.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But yeah, you're going to invent or create something, in pictures, motion pictures, or tech or something. But I have no idea what it is. But you have
Cool.
to be here for that. So
Well,
you
I
got
hope.
some. Did you do science a lot, like when you were a kid? Because I'm getting a lot of science with you too.
Okay, so
Not that the Indian gets it.
I was a very smart kid, and I was good at those things. Didn't exactly pursue them until recently. So,
Yes.
and then I failed miserably at them. So I was pursuing a master's in music technology, and I failed at that. And then I didn't fail at it; I dropped out, which is a choice.
Yeah.
But lately, I've been interested in some of that again. But-
You got to look at it because I think as you get into your 40s and 50s, that's when it really takes off for you with that invention or whatever. Keep doing what you're doing because enjoy what you're doing, but it does lead to that, and you will get better at it. It's just a matter of don't let these trip-ups stop you from what you enjoy or what you feel like you need to do.
So perseverance.
That's what it's saying.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully my my Native American spirit guide can.
He can help you.
He can help me.
Okay, what is Tylene Buck doing for me? Because now I'm a little jealous.
At least you can masturbate to yours.
Yes. Well, you have other spirit guides, but you have the one with you from birth, and that would be her. So it wasn't sexual at the beginning.
Well, no, that'd be weird, Tylene.
That would be very weird. It was just to help you. She's still now helping you. She's more now like a queen. Like I'm saying that she's there to help you keep your dignity. And it's helping you. Yeah, it's okay to be
talked
funny.
about my first time masturbating so much.
And now she's going to help you keep your dignity.
You know what?
You have to grow and learn.
It's not that undignified of a first time.
It's not.
It's not undignified.
I mean, could be weird. It could have been a turtle. Who knows? But
it could have been very weird. And so she's
Native
now
American
here
spirit
helping
guide.
you with going forward and focusing your energy towards the things you want to do. As kind of Jesse was talking with, I know it was more like Grant, but it's keeping that focused energy because
she's like a muse.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Interesting.
And there is some writing in there. I feel like she's got also with the muse with the writing. You create things, so.
I've got a hot muse. You've got a Native American warrior. This is pretty cool.
And they can hang out. They can.
They probably do.
They could fuck and we
They're
could watch.
probably fucking right now.
Yeah.
I just saw your your spirit guide look at mine and go like, "We're friends."
More than friends.
Wow. Okay. Here's a question about the other side. Is that just you said angels and dead people or people who will be alive again? Just out of curiosity, do and Jesse, this is for you as well. Do animals go there too?
Go ahead, Jesse. I didn't hear your.
From my experience, I just really don't believe so. And the only reason why I say that is just that I just have not had the experience of doing that. But to say that everything is energy, that is true. So we all come from one source of energy, or one source or another. I just have never really seen one in a sense that it was, a live being that's now dead that wants to communicate.
Okay.
As opposed to something that existed, within your time period of being alive and then doesn't exist. So when we see things that maybe, some people say, oh, well, I saw an animal totem or an animal spirit guide. A lot of times these energies are not what you think they are. It's subjective. So a person that may see an energy maybe out of South America may perceive that as something completely different than maybe that somebody who saw in Russia.
So Jesse, you're
Same
saying
energy.
Sorry, go ahead.
You're bringing it right to the point that all energy is the same, except of how you perceive it.
Okay, so some people can interpret the energies as an animal.
That's what I would say.
Angela, how about you?
I find that interesting.
Yes.
I have seen animals on the other side with the human that was their person. Now, there are some countries, like Jesse was saying, that believe you can reincarnate as an animal. I don't believe that at all. I think human is human to human, and animal is animal to animal. Now, I have heard cases, and heard them myself directly, that sometimes in this life, when you had, let's say, in a past life, you had a pet dog that you were really close to, and I keep picking it up in that past life, I have seen where you would have a cat this lifetime, and the energy of that animal is around the cat, even though it came back as a cat. So I think animals can be different kinds of animals, but I don't have a long term on that. Mostly I get, like, if you had a dog this lifetime that you loved, it's going to be on the other side. And I've had people like your grandfather would come and say, look, I have your dog, Spot, when you were 10 years old. He's here now, and he's playing around, and I can usually describe the dog. Spots. He had spots, or he didn't. That was the joke. He didn't have any spots. But it was like, I've had that happen, and I can communicate telepathically, actually, with people living or dead, and also with animals. I can hear what the animal is feeling. I would call it more of a feeling than words, but they come through me as words. So I've done that with living animals mostly. and then I'll feel
Like an empath.
Like an empath, yeah. And I'll
Okay.
feel animals on the other side that are with them, and I can sometimes say they're very happy on the other side. They can chase all the squirrels they like. I've had that with dogs. And the cats seem to run around a lot. But I definitely believe animals are there with us, because what would life be without our wonderful animals up there? They're just not going to bite you or hurt you then if they did in this lifetime.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right now, I can't get the image of my grandfather flirting with Tylene Buck out of my head.
He probably is.
Do you guys have any final readings that you guys wanted to do before we bring this puppy into the station?
I will say one last thing, I guess, to Grant.
Okay.
And I guess it could be part of both of you, because it seems like it's been, I don't know what it is. I'm just getting both of you at the same time. But I just keep getting a picture of like a documentary. And I don't know where it fits into the story of you guys. But I felt there was something there. And I get paid a lot of money to help people in this area. So when I tell you that there's a documentary, you do with it as you will. It has nothing to do with me. But there's some type of documentary that should be done, and I have no clue what it's about. I just feel it. So that's what I would say in my last parting word.
Well, Jesse, I'm going to say thank you on that, because we'll see how things go. But
yeah,
Ghost hunting?
that one. Man, that one. There's too many threats on that one.
yay, Angela, you got another reading.
I'm going
for
to
us?
give you a little bit of comedy going and one fact. Okay.
Okay.
The comedy is my mother, when I told her, I go, Mom, I'm psychic. Sometimes I say I'm not that psychic because she'll tell me something. She goes, yeah, you're psychic spelled with an O. And that was my blog for a while. Psycho.
I get it.
Mom's real funny.
I was thinking psychic?
No,
Like,
no.
Psychoc?
My mother
Yeah.
talks with a southern accent because she's from Kentucky.
We are recording this on St. Patrick's Day, so psychic.
Yeah, psychic. Yeah, well, that is true. We're very Irish. I come from an Irish background. My mother's maiden name is Collins. So
we should note that you decided to wear all red today.
I did,
which is the opposite of green.
Well,
I'm not wearing. None of us are wearing any green.
no, but I do have green scarf with me. I found out.
You don't know that, Aaron?
Yeah, part
Grant,
green.
are you wearing any green right now?
No, I'm not.
There we go.
and the
I
other-
knew that psychically.
And the other joke I'll tell you, it's not even a joke, it really happened. Never, ever give a psychic person like Jesse or myself, by the way, Jesse, never take something for an antipsychotic drug, like, let's say, Seroquel, which is for schizophrenics. I was having trouble sleeping during a certain time in my life, since we're all open here, when I was having menopause. And I couldn't sleep at all. I'd been awake for days, and I was going insane from that alone, because that can make you insane. So they were trying to find something to help me sleep. They tried Ambien, but it only let me sleep for an hour. It's supposed to let you sleep for 8. So they finally said, we're going to give you a small dose of Seroquel. Now, I didn't know what it was. They told me not to look it up because I get freaked out about things. So Seroquel, I found out
They
later.
told you not to look it up?
Yeah, because I get freaked out about what the side effects are. And I'll say,
okay.
I don't want to take it, I don't want to take it. So she goes, just take it. It's a small dose. Take it at night when you're trying to go to sleep. And Seroquel, I found out, is for schizophrenics. I found that out later. So it's to stop, I guess, the things in their head, like the voices and the things. I took it, and what it did, it gave me what I call displacement. I would be sitting on the couch, and I would hear the train. I lived in New Jersey, not near a train at all. I would hear the train, and I would feel myself step onto the platform, and then there would be no train there, and then I'd fall down, and I was sitting on my couch. I hadn't moved at all. But it also gave me a different thing. So when I went to bed after taking the Seroquel, I came out, and I lived upstairs where there was... it was kind of funny in the end, but there's stairs going down, very narrow stairs. I lived in the attic, so it was a nice attic, but I had to go down for the bathroom. So I woke up, and I looked out, and I saw a platform. I didn't see stairs, I saw a platform. So I stepped forward, and I went falling down the stairs, and I turned myself around, and I went through the wall with my butt. So there's a big hole, and I was stuck in the wall with my butt inside the wall, and I pulled myself out as best as I could, and there's a big butt print, and I have a big butt, let me tell you, in the wall, so we put a poster over it, because we couldn't do anything about it. But that's what Seroquel made me do, and that was the day I quit taking it. I said, I'm never taking this again, because it made me think I was other places, and makes me fall downstairs and put my butt in the wall.
And put butts in walls,
Now, if
yeah.
I'd fallen hard enough, though, I thought it would have been funny if my whole body was in there. Unfortunately,
Like one of those cartoons where it's like
exactly.
the impact and the fingers.
Whole, the whole body.
Okay. All
so
right.
don't give psychics drugs.
Don't give psychics drugs.
Please.
That's a T-shirt. All right. Well, if we started with me at like a 5, I'd say that this is interesting because I'd say that I don't know if my belief in psychometry, was that the word? Or
That's what he used.
Yeah.
Or psychic phenomena.
psychic phenomena or all this has improved or lessened, because some things were pretty close to the mark, some things were not as much. But I had a real fun time. Like I loved hearing these theories, whether or not I had a lot invested in them or not. I liked hearing these hypotheses and these readings. That was a lot of fun. So I don't know. I'd say maybe we're down to a 1. Like this was a lot of. I had a good time. I could see myself going to a psychic and like saying straight up, like, I don't know if I'll believe this or not, but I'm gonna have fun. And that's what the goal was today, to convince me to like this. And I had a good time. You know, screw it. It's not even 1. It's a 0. Like this was a good time. I had fun with this. I enjoyed this. So yeah, I like this now. I like psychic stuff.
Psychics are comedians.
Yeah. Grant, how about you? What are you feeling, man?
I'm feeling a lot of things, and I think we could maybe even talk about this. After maybe we'll record it, and if not, we'll cut this out. But I think, well, first of all, like, you know, I would love for like so many people would, you know, for it to be real, you know, 100%. Then it would be boring, right? So like I maybe that's not that great, but I think there's the big question for me is like, is there value in this, regardless of, you know, its accuracy, or, you know, whether it's just, you know, great cold reading or you know, great intuition. Like, for example, I'm a super forecaster. Like I've predicted a lot of like really, you know, big things in my life, but I don't think I'm psychic. You know, that's intuition. That's, you know, having a field of information and being able to make strong conclusions from it, right? So even if it's that, I learned a lot about myself just now in a way that, you know, I have a great therapist that I see every week, and you know, we do make, you know, progress. But today, I think I made as much progress as I've made, you know, with, you know, in any session with my therapist as well. So I think that's a really great thing. I think that there's value to this process. And I was trying, I mean, I'm not trying to be a skeptic, but I am also trying not to, like, I think if I'm going to get value out of this, I don't want to be like, you know, yeah, you know, yes to everything, because I think that maybe is kind of what you see on TV, where you get a group of a bunch of people who are very willing to believe anything that's said. And if something doesn't resonate with me, I don't want to be like, yeah, but, and then everybody goes excited, like, yay, we were right. Like, that doesn't have value. But I think we, by being a little bit skeptical, or not skeptical, but a little bit hesitant to jump on these things, and only really getting excited over these things that are like so close and so resonant, I learned more about myself than maybe I did about the future or about, you know, and I think that's really, really cool. And whether that's psychic ability, or that's just really good intuition, or whether I'm just, you know, an open book that, you know, is so easy to read or whatever, these are things I didn't know about myself that I think I realized a little bit about.
I'll say I feel a little bit more, I don't know if at peace is the right word, but I feel a satisfaction, a kind of a perkiness. Like this was, I had a blast. Like,
yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah,
I would say just quickly that's why I'm a spiritual counselor. I found out that's basically what I've been doing. Half the time my readings are to counsel people, and it's also, as he said, some of it is not even psychic. It's really based on what I know about people. I've lived enough years, and I've talked to a lot of people all throughout my life, psychically or not. And what I've learned, that half the people that call me, I have actually spiritually counseled people who were dying on their deathbed. They knew. So we knew they were going to go, and they wanted to know about the other side because they're very frightened. And I've given them peace, which is a wonderful experience when they say thank you, because you really made it so it was, you know, the friends of them would say you made it so much easier for them when they were laying in the hospital passing. I also had people who call me who think they're dying and just don't want to live anymore. Depression. I will call. I'm a, you know, mandated caller. If I get somebody who's suicidal, I will call the authorities on them, because I can't allow that to happen. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
But I've had people who are just feeling really down, like a woman who was going through cancer therapy. And she said, I don't know if I'm going to live, but I said, I see a grandchild in your future. And we talked for a while. She wrote me a testimonial and said, I saved her life, which makes me feel very grateful. But I said, really? And she goes, yeah, you gave me a thought that I would get through this chemotherapy. I didn't think I'd make it through chemo. And so she got through chemo and became strong, and she's now welcoming her first grandchild.
Oh, mazel tov.
So she was, and so these kind of things, I see that, and then they say, because I saw the future, I saw the child coming, I saw a girl, she had a girl, she was like, I have something to live for, because she thought her children didn't like her anymore, and I said, no, you're going to have this grandchild who needs you, and she did. She has this beautiful grandchild who needs her.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's on that uplifting note, let's bring this into the station. Jesse, do you have anything that you'd like to plug?
Yes. No, I'm working on two. You guys don't have enough time on the slot. I just thank you guys so much for inviting me here. I really enjoyed myself. Angela, it was wonderful to talk with you again. So thank you guys for having me.
You're
on.
welcome. Jesse, where can people find you online?
Just punch in Jesse Bravo on Google. It'll find me.
All right, sure.
Yeah, he's celebrity. So
you are, yeah.
He really is.
Your Twitter's huge. What's your Twitter handle?
New York Psychic.
New York Psychic. Cool.
That's
Yeah, and Angela, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yes, definitely. I am doing classes for creative people or anybody who runs a business to help you use stuff like law of attraction and your psychic gifts to enhance your lives. And I also do readings. And so I do hour readings or hour and a half readings. And so you can give me an email telling me what you want to look at or just all the things I do at angelaura28@yahoo.com. And that's ANGEL, like an angel. Sometimes. And aura, like the aura around your body.
Which is yellow.
Yes. Some people's. AURA. And 28, which is their age and my birth date. And that's at yahoo.com. AngelAura28@yahoo.com. And I also, if you Google my name, my full name, even Angel Aura 28, you'll find me everywhere.
Cool.
I'm on, YouTube. I have some meditations on there. So Angel Aura 28 is kind of my name.
Wonderful. Great to know. I'd like to plug Grant and my monthly show at the Magnet Theater. You Are Not Alone, an uplifting show about depression. Depending on when this episode comes out, the next one will either be Monday, March 27th at 10:30 p.m. or Sunday, April 16th at 7:30 p.m. Also, you can reach out to this podcast on Twitter, Instagram at Don't Mind Podcast. You can also email us at don'tmindpodcast@gmail.com. Also, reach out to me personally. Hey, it's Aaron Gold at Twitter and Instagram. Grant, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's it.
If you want to talk to our spiritual advisors, Native American warrior and Tylene Buck, we'll pass along the message. Just reach out to us.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a stand-up dude. He's
yeah.
apparently very tall.
Jesse, Angela, thank you guys so much for this. This was a delight. And
thank you so much for having me.
As always, keep on minded, but only if I give you permission to.